Place me as a seal upon your heart, as a seal upon your arm. For love is strong as death, and jealousy is fierce as the grave. Love's flashes are flashes of fire, the very flame of the Lord. Song of Solomon 8:6.
King Solomon was known for his wisdom, love for God, and his controversial life due to his relationship with his 1,000 women, specifically 700 wives and 300 concubines, which had drastic consequences for his disobedience to God. Here we will delve into his story filled with controversies that lead us to reflect on wisdom, greed, and the duality of using divine power to do good while indulging in lust.
Almost fanatically, they support their great King Solomon.
Solomon, king over Israel.
Solomon, the son of King David, ascended to the throne of Israel around 970 BC. His reign, which lasted about 40 years, is remembered as a period of great prosperity and peace.
One of the most significant moments of his reign was the construction of the magnificent temple in Jerusalem. This building became the spiritual center of the people of Israel and a symbol of their covenant with God. The construction of the temple demonstrated Solomon's devotion to God and his commitment to strengthening his people's faith. But Solomon's most remarkable characteristic was his quest for wisdom. When God granted him a wish, Solomon chose wisdom over wealth or power, emphasizing his devotion to God. He shared this wisdom with his people through his famous Proverbs and the Song of Solomon. The book of Proverbs is a testimony to Solomon's quest for wisdom. His Proverbs offer valuable guidance for everyday life, morals, and ethics. According to biblical tradition, when God appeared to Solomon in a dream and offered him a wish, the king asked for wisdom to rule the people with justice and discernment. The Proverbs are an expression of this divine wisdom.
Trust in the Lord with all your heart, and do not lean on your understanding. In all your ways acknowledge him, and he will make straight your paths. Proverbs 3:5-6.
The Song of Solomon inspires reflections on love and spirituality. The Song of Solomon emphasizes that human love is a divine gift and an essential part of the human experience. Love is beautiful and sacred, and God is the source of all true love.
Draw me after you, let us run. The king has brought me into his chambers. We will exult and rejoice in you. We will extol your love more than wine. Rightly do they love you. Song of Solomon 1:4.
One intriguing episode in his life was the visit of the Queen of Sheba. She traveled from afar to meet Solomon, drawn by his fame and wisdom. The meeting between Solomon and the Queen of Sheba symbolizes the pursuit of wisdom and understanding between different cultures. The account of this famous visit is primarily found in the Old Testament, in the books of 1 Kings 10:1-13 and 2 Chronicles 9:1-12. The Queen of Sheba, whose kingdom was located in the modern-day southern Arabian region, heard about Solomon's great fame. She decided to visit him in Jerusalem to test the veracity of the reports about his wisdom and wealth. The Bible says,
When the Queen of Sheba heard of the fame of Solomon, she came to test him with hard questions. She came to Jerusalem with a very great retinue, with camels bearing spices and very much gold and precious stones. And when she came to Solomon, she told him all that was on her mind, and Solomon answered all her questions. There was nothing hidden from the king that he could not explain to her. And when the Queen of Sheba had seen all the wisdom of Solomon, the house that he had built, the food of his table, the seating of his officials, and the attendance of his servants, and their clothing, his cupbearers, and his burnt offerings that he offered at the house of the Lord, there was no more breath in her. And she said to the king, "The report was true that I heard in my own land of your words and of your wisdom. But I did not believe the reports until I came, and my own eyes had seen it. And behold, the half was not told me. Your wisdom and prosperity surpass the report that I heard. Happy are your men, happy are your servants, who continually stand before you and hear your wisdom. Blessed be the Lord your God, who has delighted in you and set you on the throne of Israel. Because the Lord loved Israel forever, he has made you king, that you may execute justice and righteousness." Then she gave the king 120 talents of gold, and a very great quantity of spices and precious stones. Never again came such an abundance of spices as these that the queen of Sheba gave to King Solomon. Moreover, the fleet of Hiram, which brought gold from Ophir, brought from Ophir a very great amount of almug wood and precious stones. And the king made of the almug wood supports for the house of the Lord, and for the king's house, also lyres and harps for the singers. No such almug wood has come or been seen to this day. And King Solomon gave to the queen of Sheba all that she desired, whatever she asked besides what was given her by the bounty of King Solomon. So she turned and went back to her own land. 1 Kings 10:1-13.
This biblical passage expresses the admiration that the Queen of Sheba found in Solomon, leaving her in awe and expressing her admiration, stating that the stories about Solomon and his wisdom were not exaggerations, but underestimated the reality. Here, we see the manifestation of divine power in a servant of God. However, Solomon's story also includes a controversial episode. His 700 wives and 300 concubines, many of whom were foreign, led him to allow the construction of pagan temples in Jerusalem. This decision had profound political and religious implications. Solomon, in his pursuit of strengthening political alliances with other kingdoms, chose a large-scale strategy of royal marriages. The practice of marrying multiple wives and concubines was common at the time, and often served political and economic purposes. By forming marital alliances with the daughters of neighboring kings, Solomon sought to ensure peace, trade, and the security of his kingdom. These marital unions helped consolidate Solomon's power and expand Israel's influence in the region. However, this extraordinary number of wives and concubines resulted not only from political reasons, but also reflected a desire for opulence and wealth, which would later have negative consequences. This story is portrayed in the biblical passage.
Now King Solomon loved many foreign women, along with the daughter of Pharaoh, Moabite, Ammonite, Edomite, Sidonian, and Hittite women, from the nations concerning which the Lord had said to the people of Israel, "You shall not enter into marriage with them, neither shall they with you, for surely they will turn away your heart after their gods." Solomon clung to these in love. He had 700 wives who were princesses and 300 concubines, and his wives turned away his heart. 1 Kings 11:1-4.
The concession to the worship of foreign deities represented a violation of Israel's monotheistic faith, leading to growing apostasy among the people. This resulted in divine punishment and the division of the kingdom after Solomon's death. The Bible says,
For Solomon went after Ashtoreth, the goddess of the Sidonians, and after Milcom, the abomination of the Ammonites. 1 Kings 11:5.
Every man, horse, chariot hidden from Solomon's view.
God sent the prophet Ahijah to announce that although the full punishment would not occur during Solomon's reign, the kingdom would be divided after his death. This division led to the formation of the kingdoms of Israel and Judah, a significant development in Israel's history. Despite his wisdom, Solomon faced challenges and temptations that led him astray from God.
So Solomon did what was evil in the sight of the Lord, and did not wholly follow the Lord, as David his father had done. 1 Kings 11:6.
Solomon faced challenges and temptations that led him astray from God. Solomon's life is full of valuable lessons. His pursuit of wisdom, the construction of the temple, and his disobedience to God's covenant remind us of the importance of maintaining our faith and adherence to fundamental principles, even when tempted by cultural and political influence. The pursuit of wisdom and faithfulness to our beliefs are fundamental pillars in our own spiritual journeys.
As for you, if you will walk before me as David your father walked, doing according to all that I have commanded you, and keeping my statutes and my rules, then I will establish your royal throne, as I covenanted with David your father, saying, You shall not lack a man to rule Israel. 2 Chronicles 7:17-18.